Story 1. Learning how to search online for how to fix it yourself before calling a professional and discovering that YouTube has all the answers. Story 2. How to budget and track expenses. Knowing where your money goes can prevent surprise overdrafts and debt. Story 3. I, as 60-year-old female, learned how to replace a toilet, build raised garden beds, reinforce rotten boards until I could replace them, install a new dishwasher, change a light fixture, and more. I learned all of this online, spending probably less than half an hour on each project. I have saved thousands of dollars. Story 4. I learned how to cut my dog's hair during COVID-19 by watching videos on YouTube. Dog grooming costs about $70 every 2 months or so over the lifetime of the animal. My dog has a less polished haircut, but I save thousands of dollars over its lifetime. Story 5. Many car repairs. I learned to change my brakes in a day by myself, including rotors. I learned how to flush transmission fluid and refill it, and how to repair certain gaskets. I also learned to replace the radiator and timing belt. Each one of these tasks took me about 12 to 48 hours to figure out. Doing the radiator myself saved me $700 alone. Story 6. Basic sewing, buttons, and turning up trousers. Many people throw items away because they do not fit properly or the buttons have come off. Story 7. Learned to cut my own hair. I bought a $45 hair cutter 10 years ago and have not gone to a barber since. At approximately $35 every 6 weeks, I estimate I have saved over $3,000. Story 8. Lift with your knees always. The number of people I see with back problems is overwhelming, and it costs a fortune. Story 9. Sewing. Once a week, I patch holes in stuffed animals, close holes in pants pockets, or reattach eyes. I have also made hair accessories for my girls. The materials cost much less than store-bought items. Story 10. Installing solar panels. The quote I received for my roof was 12,500 euros. I found a kit for 2,000 euros and an electrician who completed the entire connection for 500 euros. I saved myself 10,000 euros and did the same for my brother. Story 11. Oil changes were costing me $100 each time I went, so I bought some plastic car ramps on sale for $50 and learned how to change the oil filter, check air filters, and lubricate what needs to be lubricated. I am saving about $300 a year, and I feel more confident than ever. Story 12. Coffee. A cheap coffee machine costs less than $30 and will make coffee as long as you take care of it. A French press costs about half that, and an electric kettle costs less than the other half of $30. Paying more than 30 cents for a cup of coffee is unreasonable. Make it yourself and stop paying $5 a cup. Story 13. Learning how to eat right and exercise regularly is important. Staying active and maintaining a healthy weight can save you tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills in the future. Story 14. First aid and cardiopulmonary resuscitation. My little sister is alive because my dad performed the Heimlich maneuver when she was little. He was very close. Saving a life is priceless, especially if it is someone you love. Story 15. Not a week, but 14 days to cleanse your body of nicotine. The rest of the quitting process is the habit. You really have to learn to live without cigarettes. I quit 10 years ago, approximately $12,000 saved. Story 16. I will go first. Changing your car's air filter. I did it in 10 minutes and saved $100 at the mechanic. Story 17. Financial and economic literacy. Basic statistics and critical thinking are important skills, though they might not be covered in a single week. Cooking at least 10 basic meals is essential. Not restaurant quality, but enough to satisfy hunger. This skill can scale with serving size, which is the purpose of meal preparation. Knowing enough home repair to recognize when you are out of your depth is valuable. Trying to fix something and failing can be more expensive than calling a specialist right away. Managing your budget with a spreadsheet is helpful. Open your preferred Excel-like program and enter all your bills for the month. Analyze, sort, and work with the data. Pay attention to hidden or unexpected costs. Carefully track what you are spending money on. Buying reliable items is wise. Purchasing a $100 pair of shoes that lasts 5 years is better than buying a $40 pair every year. Meanwhile, you will be wearing quality shoes, and your feet will thank you. Story 18. Understanding that there is almost no arbitrage in trading stocks unless you spend millions on an analyst department whose direct information from the industries and companies they cover borders on insider information. Invest long-term and follow large patterns. Story 19. My mother completed a short course in hair cutting. With 3 children and a husband, I believe this saved them a significant amount of money by not having to visit a professional hairdresser. Story 20. Clothes mending. Being able to repair wear and tear in good clothing rather than discarding it saves you a significant amount of money over time. Story 21. 2 that I can think of. 1. Reading through a document carefully. The number of times you fill something in incorrectly and it costs you is surprising. Filling out tax return forms. Similar to the first point, making sure you understand a tax form could save a lot. Story 22. Basic retirement planning. You can save yourself thousands or even hundreds of thousands with a basic understanding of investing for retirement. Story 23. How to remove and replace your privacy fence. The cheapest quote I received was $3,500 for a fence consisting of 6 panels. It was $1,000 just for the removal. I taught myself and spent $800. Story 24. Basic carpentry, plumbing, electrical work, cooking, 3-dimensional printing, and sewing all come to mind immediately. Story 25. As a plumber, the amount of basic tasks that people ask me to do, which they could easily find out with a 5-minute Google search, is incredible. We used to teach basic wiring at school in the United Kingdom. Now, people ask me to change their thermostats which have 3 wires. Story 26. How to operate a socket set. Everything that bolts onto your engine and is easily accessible is actually pretty easy to change out. Oil changes, bolt-on parts in most non-Volkswagen cars, etc. Story 27. Cooking. Cleaning your teeth by brushing and flossing. Changing your car's tires and possibly other minor parts. Repairing broken items in your home. That's more of a learn when it happens kind of thing, such as replacing a broken faucet or hooking up a washing machine. Story 28. The skill to resist special deals. Unless you were going to buy something anyway, you are not saving money, you are simply spending less. Story 29. Taking care of your teeth. Oscillating toothbrushes cost less than a nice happy hour at Applebee's. Nanotechnology in toothpastes fills in cracks present in the enamel. Other toothpastes replicate the manganine naturally found in the mouth to prevent bad breath. The unpleasant taste of 1950s Colgate calcium carbonate is now a flavor of pyrolyzed coconut husks and Hawaiian ginger root awapuhi. Dental implants cost $3,000 or more, and that is if you have enough jawbone to drill into. Story 30. Learning basic house maintenance and upgrades. Learning to take a sink drain apart if it is running slow, changing furnace filters, and using a plumbing snake on a toilet. Story 31. How to use Google. I am serious. Knowing how to format and word a question is extremely important if you want to find answers. Also, if you do not know what question to ask, knowing how to find enough information to inform yourself to ask the right question is important too. Story 32. Writing down a to-do list at the beginning of the day, even if these are routine tasks, and ticking each one off as you finish gives a good sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. It keeps you on track, provides motivation to keep going, and prevents accidentally missing small yet important tasks. Story 33. I have been cutting my own hair for the last 15 years. If you assume I save $20 per month, that is $3,600. The initial investment was less than $100 for a good pair of clippers, scissors, and a hand mirror that have lasted me the entire time. Story 34. Learning how to shop, whether it is for groceries or general goods, is important. Small things like comparing prices by looking at price per ounce or unit instead of total cost can make a difference. Taking the time to review sales advertisements, using manufacturer coupons, and applying app discounts all help save money. Many people shop mindlessly and get into routines without realizing how much they could save if they made an effort. Story 35. Learning about exchange-traded funds and holding long-term, people have made thousands just through patience and discipline. Story 36. How to make salads or fibrous meals tasty. Master the skill of eating at least one salad or fibrous meal a day to reduce stomach risks as you age. Story 37. My local bicycle shop closed and was replaced by a new one. The old shop charged about $20 for a complete bicycle rebuild, while the new shop charged $100 just to inspect the bicycle. Therefore, I have had to learn a lot about repairing my own bicycle. Additionally, basic soldering and electronic skills saved me from having to buy a new motor for the electric bicycle because the wires were severed. Story 38. A week can offer many learning opportunities. Break work takes 2 days to learn. Laying a patio takes 1 day with a teacher, or 3 days if you are doing it from books and YouTube. The list goes on. Story 39. Basic car maintenance includes checking wheels, filters, and oil. Spending over $100 on each inspection can add up over a lifetime. Story 40. A credit card with a good percent back can save you hundreds of dollars a year by doing what you are already doing. Story 41. Doing your own oil changes for vehicles takes less than an hour after watching a video. You can find videos to fix anything around your house, including outlets, pipes, drywall, caulking, toilets, and new light installations. All of these tasks are simple and reduce costs by only requiring you to buy parts and spend about 1 to 2 hours watching and doing the work. These savings add up over the years to thousands of dollars in your lifetime that you can spend elsewhere. Story 42. Basically, any do-it-yourself skill, any trade skill, any planning skill, any cooking skill. If it can employ you figuratively, it will be something that saves you thousands. Story 43. Make coffee. You spend $5 to $7 a day on a latte or even just drip coffee. 5 days a week, that is at least $100 a month. Story 44. I learned to build a deck on YouTube, so I saved around $10,000 to $15,000. I also remodeled a half-duplex and saved about $20,000 on plumbing, tile, kitchen cabinets, and more. Story 45. Depending on the daily catch and availability, fishing can theoretically save you thousands of dollars in food and therapy. Story 46. Building credit through credit cards. Since it is mostly about low usage and always paying back what you borrowed, never underestimate the power of a $1 Patreon subscription. They check off both of those in a super manageable way, can be canceled anytime, and support creators you genuinely enjoy. Story 47. Oil changes over your driving life. I guarantee there is a well-lit, well-explained, well-filmed video on doing an oil change for your car, as long as it is not a crazy exotic. It takes very little time or special equipment to do, and oil often goes on sale. I can do an oil change in less time than it takes to drive to the oil change place and back. I follow the proper procedure and know it has been done correctly afterward. The same applies to switching over your winter and summer tires, assuming both sets are on their own rims. Takes hardly any time, and you can inspect the brakes as well. Then you are less likely to be overcharged when you do go to a mechanic because you will have a good idea of the condition of your vehicle's braking system. Story 48. Try to fix everything by yourself. YouTube shows you almost everything you will ever need, especially anything inside your home that needs to be replaced or fixed. You can fix almost anything with a racket set, some wrenches, and screwdrivers. Story 49. Yes, cooking. I can make myself any pizza advertised on television from scratch. I know how to make jelly, mayonnaise, barbecue sauce, marinara, roux, biscuits, and a plethora of other foods from scratch. Knowing how to sew, knowing how to change oil and a tire, knowing how to hunt and fish, knowing how to save money and avoid impulse purchases, being frugal, and last but certainly not least, knowing how to slide a card or a paperclip in a door lock and make it open. Story 50. Basic carpentry and drywalling skills are useful. A hole in a wall costs a few dollars to fix yourself, but calling a professional can cost possibly a few $100s. Tools are inexpensive as well. The same applies to carpentry. Being able to locate a stud means you can hang shelves, cabinets, or a television safely. You can also fix most items around the house. Doors and cabinets are made of wood. Story 51. changing watch batteries, minor repairs to furniture, mending clothes, trimming your own hair, and framing pictures are all easy tasks. They may not save you a huge amount, but they can add up over time. Story 52. Cooking. The number of people in their 20s I know who spend half their budget on takeout 6 times a week is amazing. Also, if you drink alcohol, learn to make your own beer or wine. Story 53. In general, the skill is watching YouTube videos on do-it-yourself projects for whatever you need to do. Things I have done include replacing my cracked phone screen, replacing the battery in my old MacBook, drywall, tile, flooring, growing a vegetable garden, composting, cooking, woodworking, painting my cabinets, building a deck, installing a paver walkway, fixing toilets, and moving my vanity electrical. My philosophy is I can do virtually anything. Story 54. Read the full terms and conditions, or at least search for the words fee, cancel, and auto-renew. Story 55. Soldering copper plumbing, installing light fixtures and receptacles, understanding the basics of electricity in homeownership. Story 56. Not driving a car that is bigger than what you need. Not having a car if you do not need one. Not spending money that is not budgeted for. Story 57. Basic cooking. Yes, it takes years to master cooking, but learning to feed yourself does not take long and does not always involve calling Uber Eats or DoorDash, which over time will break you financially. Story 58. How to negotiate your salary, or more precisely, how it is okay to try and negotiate your salary. Seriously, you can learn the basics in less than 2 hours, and it will earn you hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars each year for the rest of your life if you apply it. Story 59. Minor electrical and plumbing tasks can be learned as needed. For example, if you have an outlet go bad, an electrician may charge up to $200 to replace it. You can do this yourself for the cost of an outlet and a few tools by following online videos. For major repairs, it is best to hire a professional. However, for minor tasks, try doing it yourself. Story 60. Look up your model numbers on YouTube for appliances. Simple air conditioner repairs and maintenance. Clean the outside evaporative cooler and add shade to it. Change air conditioner filters, but not too often. They work better with a little clutter, but not too much. Simple washer and dryer maintenance. Lint. Many people don't know they need to clean out the lint every single time, especially after drying towels. If your dryer starts drying poorly, look up your model number on YouTube for instructions on how to clean the next place lint, coins, or junk get trapped after the lint filter. Also, clean the dryer vent yearly. You can buy drill attachments or hire someone to do it relatively cheaply. This is one of the biggest causes of house fires. Dishwasher filter cleaning is typically under the spinning arm at the bottom. Look up your model number on YouTube to learn how to clean it. Proper drain hose height that goes to your disposal will help with draining and drying dishes. If your dishes never dry after a cycle, try running a cycle occasionally with a cup of white vinegar on the top shelf and no dishes. Simple plumbing. Replace a valve stem, spigot, perform simple toilet repairs like flap replacement, and drain or pilot light replacement on your water heater. Look up your fridge model number to replace your water filter. Your ice machine and fridge will last longer if they are not clogged. One task I can't get my wife to do even though we live in Arizona with low humidity. Hang your towels properly. They dry faster if air can reach them. Stacking towels on one hook causes smell within 2 days, leading to frequent washing and drying. This problem is worse in humid environments. Small maintenance tasks like these save money and headaches over time. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.